Hello, Mallards. It is Wednesday. I am at breakfast with Grandma Jolly. Say hello to the video, Grandma. And we are reading love letters between her parents. They wrote to each other like every day in 1929, which is wild. And not just a little bit. Like this is one letter. It's 3 whole pages. This has really put me and my inconsistent pen pal writing to shame. Sorry, Phil. I do not write you a letter every day. Certainly not a 3-page letter every day. But also we're not in love, so maybe that's part of it too. But a couple of things that I've learned. First off, my great-grandfather's handwriting, much easier to read than my great-grandmother's handwriting. Her cursive eventually just gets like so small that it's just like little bumps. I wonder if Ralph could even read it. Could he read it or did he just pretend? That's a good question. The other thing I've learned is that in 1929, they did say LOL, except they just said ha. So at the end of every sentence where they write something funny, they write ha. Exactly the same way that now people of my generation would write something and then write LOL. So anybody who gets on me for that, which there are some people in the boomer generation who are like, why do you write like this? Because they did in 1929, okay? They just used different words. Isn't that funny?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So currently, my great-grandfather Ralph just had his birthday. And for his birthday, he sent my great-grandmother flowers, which is kind of cute. And in her last letter, she wrote about where she took the flowers, which I thought was also really interesting. So let me explain to you that she received these flowers to her residence, where they were very beautiful, but also where she didn't want to get out of bed to receive them because she was tired. But she did get out of bed and they were beautiful. And then she took these flowers, this bouquet of flowers, to school, to 2 of her classes, to an outdoor service on the school lawn, to study hall to surprise everybody, then to an assembly, and then back to her boarding house. Then to her boarding house, and then back to her home. That's all the places she decided to take these flowers because she wanted to show them off so that people would ask her, where did you get those beautiful flowers? And she could be like, oh my gosh, this guy I'm in love with in Morning Sun, Iowa, he sent them to me. She wanted to brag. She talks about bragging about the flowers. Is that what you used to do, Grandma? If Grandpa sent you flowers, would you take them to class with you so people would ask you about them?
That would be very, very nice to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You like people asking you about the pretty flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was tulips and peonies, and they were red for love.
Oh.
Although one of her friends made a joke about how they thought it was red for danger, which I thought was pretty funny. She thought it was funny too. She wrote ha. LOL. All right, we're going to read some more letters now for breakfast. My father and I went to Delzell's and we requested they start looking for a Dodge Ram ProMaster. So hopefully I will have some information on that in the next few days, which is very exciting. Grandma had a hair appointment. That was lovely. And now I'm feeding the cats again. Pouncer, Simon, and as yet unnamed orange cats. And Eclipse, the black cat. Let's go. Okay, for the record, I've learned that this one, who eats alone, is Pouncer. Can I necessarily tell him apart from the others the rest of the time? No, I don't think so. But I've decided this one, who has more white on his hind legs and also is very whiny, is gonna be Simon. So that's Simon. This is Pouncer. These are the 3 as yet unnamed orange kitties. So Genevieve, or anybody else, if you've got suggestions, we're taking them. We finished off our evening with another movie night, another lawyer movie, actually. Turned out Mom had a couple on her list. So we watched Dark Waters, which stars Mark Ruffalo as a lawyer who
discovers that DuPont was poisoning the water with runoff from the creation of Teflon in West Virginia. And it's a movie that spans a lot of time, which I had thought was going to be the case because I looked up the performers on IMDb before we started watching and noticed that there were like 5 performers to play his kids at various different ages. And so I was guessing that it was going to be a long drawn out thing. And it was a 14-year journey for the original lawsuit. And he is still doing lawsuits today, which is kind of wild. But it is an uplifting story because at the end, he is successful. Spoilers, I guess, if you want to watch the film. I think it's a powerful movie. But it is really interesting because his character ends up saying very little as the story goes on. Like, I feel like as the movie progresses, he says progressively less lines in every scene. And I'd be curious to know, if you like laid them all out, how many lines he said versus most of the other characters in the film. Which I think is maybe a reflection of the real life actor or real life lawyer. But it was interesting. And now I'm going to go to bed and I will see you tomorrow.